these movies just keep getting better and better. Like, I watched the 5th one and then watched the 6th one, the Half-Blood Prince here of the Harry Potter's movie. This one, it's so good that you even forget that the movie title doesn't really talk about the movie at all. Like, you find out who the Half-Blood Prince is in this movie, but the movie's it's not based about that guy, and it's based about a bunch of other things. But this one, what does it different than number 5 is that it ties everything together, so you feel like you're not watching 2 different movies, but you're watching one solid movie. And I cannot wait to dive into this review of Harry Potter 6 and the Half-Blood Prince. Let's take it off. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Zakka. What is Movie Breakdowns? A movie review series where we look at new and old movies, give them a grade, A through F, plus and minuses do count. If there's a movie you want me to review, let me know. Please put in the comments section. I'll try to get to it as best as I can. And I have a Patreon. And on this Patreon, which is Patreon/Zakka, you get free content. Well, not free content. You get to pay to get the content, but you get content in advance. You get movie reviews in advance. You get my first thoughts on movies. You get trailer reactions and trailer reviews. You get all these different things before everybody else does in the world. And guess what? If you ask for a movie and you're paying for the service, I will go find that movie for you. I will hunt it down, buy it if I have to, and review it for you. So that's what the Patreon members get. Now, let's jump into today's review of Harry Potter 6 and the Half-Blood Prince. Or just Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. First thoughts. I love this movie. I loved everything about this movie besides a few things which kind of gives a grade to it. But this movie to me was done so well. From the very beginning to the middle to the end. It's 2 hours and 34 minutes. And I did not feel like it was that long. The movie came out in 2009, and the one thing they did that really irked me at the end was the cut scares. Like, Harry Potter and Dumbledore goes find one of the Horcruxes, and they find it, and after like doing some more trickery and stuff like that to get the Horcrux, these like monsters come out the water, and they did like 10 cuts for Harry Potter when he jumps back, and I thought that was unnecessary. Why the heck did that happen? But other than that, like, this movie was done really well. I'm not a big fan of all the love romance stuff in the series, but this one made me more intrigued into the love romance. Like, I knew from day one that but Hermione and Ron would get together. Like, I never knew, how they was gonna do it. But I had a feeling watching the episode 1 that it was going to happen, and then this movie kind of plays on it more, and it does it really well. I enjoy this movie. I enjoyed everything about this movie. It's such a fun movie, such a great movie to watch. I think this right now so far is probably one of my favorites Harry Potter movies. If not the favorite up to this point. I haven't reviewed 6, 7.1 and 2 yet. I've seen them. But I guess I'm talking in the presence of me watching episode 6. So I haven't seen 7.1, 7.2 yet as this review. But I guess I haven't reviewed 7.1, 7.2 yet. So at the present moment, I'm reacting to my first moment of this movie. When I first saw it, my present moment, like, this is the best one of the series so far. And I'm going to break it down to you because the 3 storylines in this movie, which are Dumbledore and his friend Slughorn, Professor Slughorn. Jesse, I'm gonna look at my computer over here, guys. But Jesse K, who plays Lavender Brown. So Lavender Brown, Hermione and Ron's love triangle. And then you have the Horcrux storyline where Harry Potter's got to find the Horcruxes, and he can't figure out why he keeps getting these visions with Voldemort, and he's pretty much trying to figure out what's going on and how to stop everything. Like, all that. Oh, on top of that, I guess the 4th one, because Draco finally becomes aligned with Voldemort, and Snape finally joins Voldemort in this movie. So you have those 4 storylines there where Snape is watching over Draco to make sure Draco's safe. Harry trying to figure out how to stop Voldemort. He knows Voldemort's back and he's trying to figure this out. Dumbledore is trying to find a way to express to Harry what is going on with his friend Slughorn. And then you have Ron, Hermione, and Lavender. Also within the love thing, you have Harry and Ginny. So there's like 4 storylines in this movie that all interact and like connect together. And therefore there's not like you're watching multiple movies. Like all the other Harry Potter movies, I felt like you was watching a different movie. You watch part 1 and part 2 in that same movie. And this one, from beginning to end, it all flows smoothly, even to the point where the ending happens, you're like, oh shoot, wow, okay. So let's go and break this down. The movie opens up with Harry Potter kind of just, minding his own business, and he is at a diner reading about what's going on, stuff like that. They was cleared in the 5th movie. The Dumbledore and Harry Potter was cleared of the name. Voldemort's back, kind of stuff. And also Voldemort attacks the Death Eaters attack one of the shops. I think the wand shop they attacked in the movie. I could be wrong on that, but they attacked one of the shops in Diagon Alley. Did I pronounce that right? I probably pronounced it wrong. If I did that, I'm probably going to the wrong place like Harry did. But in the alley where all the shopping centers are for wizards and witches and mystical creatures, they attack it. And Harry's kind of like reading the loot paper and just figuring out what's going on here. And Dumbledore appears out of nowhere. One, cock blocks him because Harry's going to go on a date at 11 o'clock at night, which is a little too late, but whatever. And Dumbledore appears out of nowhere, kidnaps Harry in a sense, not really by force, but just tells Harry, all right, you come with me, you go find somebody. And they go find Slughorn. Slughorn is a teacher of potions. He's a really strong teacher. He knows how to teach potions and magic and stuff like that. And he's involved in Tom Riddle's kind of like rise to power at one point. Like he helps Tom Riddle find a way to keep himself alive. So Dumbledore trying to get this out of him, but he doesn't know how to do it. He knows there's something's afloat. He knows Voldemort's not dying because of something, but he can't figure it out. Which in reality, I guess I'm not gonna talk about in this review, because you find out later on, and you kind of look back on this movie when you think of that scene, you're like, okay, why did he just didn't tell Harry? But whatever, the movie has to happen. So Dumbledore is trying to get Harry Potter to become friends with Slughorn. And Slughorn is admired by Harry Potter because of the things he's done so far. So Slughorn wants to teach Harry. And Slughorn decides to go to Hogwarts on Dumbledore's behalf to teach Harry to protect himself from Voldemort. And Harry's job is to find a way to get Slughorn to reveal what did he tell Tom Riddle all those years ago. So there's a bunch of things of them going together and trying to figure stuff out. And one of my favorite scenes is Lucky Harry. So Slughorn teaches kids how to make a lucky potion. And they do this for Ron, which Ron doesn't take it, but they make Ron pretend that he takes it because Ron decided to join the Gryffindor team for Quidditch. And which is a cool little scene there to show that, Hermione has feelings for Ron, and this girl named Lavender Brown's there who also has feelings for Ron. It's a little fun moment there. Ron has some fun moments in this movie. But Harry takes it in this movie because he's trying to figure out how to get to the bottom of this. And it makes you lucky. You take this, you're lucky, you happy go lucky, you're sunshine, a ray of hope, and stuff just happening, stuff just falling into place. So Harry runs into Slughorn, and then they run to Hagrid, who is crying and just sad that his friend Aragon, the spider, died. I think it's Aragon. I probably got his name wrong. But the giant spider from the second movie is dead, which he looked twice as small in this movie. And for some reason, because Harry Potter is goofy as all get out in this scene, so therefore it adds a comic relief to a very serious scene, because Dumbledore is there mourning over his friend. It is very sad. And then Slughorn, he's like, oh, this is a dead spider with poison. His venom is really poisonous. Can I extract it? And Hagrid's like, sure, you can do that. And he goes over, try to extract the venom, and breaks the dude's fang. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this shouldn't be this funny, but I was dying laughing in this movie. Like, I was dying laughing at that scene. It was a very sad scene, but Harry Potter's like comic relief and then Slughorn comic relief out to a very sad moment. It made it too funny and I couldn't stop laughing. I laughed harder than any other Harry Potter movie at this point here, and I watched it again and I was like, I shouldn't have laughed, but it was so funny. It was so hilarious to me, and I feel bad, but it was just Harry's goofiness. Slughorn's like, oh, I shouldn't be here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And Hagrid just like, I hate all y'all. No, forget you guys, man. Forget you guys. But thanks to this happening, Harry learns the real truth about Tom Riddle, and that he was able to preserve himself by putting his soul in 7 different things called Horcruxes, and things that mean something to him. So he put his soul in, this movie reveals that he put his soul in his notebook, Tom Riddle's notebook. The next one was a ring that he stole as a kid, and this movie shows like the flashback of Dumbledore and Tom Riddle and how they met, which reminded me of Professor X and him meeting Jean Grey for the first time. That's what really showed me when I watched it. I was like, is this X-Men? What is this? Like, what? Professor X come up to Jean Grey, Professor X who's really talented and can talk to all these mutants and is more of a leader. Dumbledore is the same thing to Tom Riddle, a kid Tom Riddle who has this amazing power like Jean Grey, and Professor X / Dumbledore goes and talks and tries to find a way to get this kid join his school, and then realize this kid has a lot of power. Is this the X-Men in my Harry Potter movie? And I do one thing I want to mention, because I said it in episode 4 and episode 5 of Harry Potter, is that like we reference Hunger Games and we reference, you know, Kylo Ren and all of the Star Wars movie that came in years later, so it showed the influence of the Harry Potter series on other movies. When it comes to this X-Men reference, X-Men was out way before Harry Potter came out, so I saw the reference there, J.K. Rowling. I seen what you did. Maybe nobody else did, but I seen it. And I'm not talking about X-Men the movie, I'm talking about X-Men the comic books. Getting nerdy on you. So, that's one of the storylines in this movie that gets revealed in this movie, and it's really enjoyable. And this also mixes in, because Slughorn is good with potions, so he teaches kids how to deal with love potions and how to break certain potions. And there's a point in this movie where the girls learn how to make make all these love potions and hand them out to people, trying to get these guys to fall in love with them. And Ron, who's dealing with this girlfriend of his, he ended up taking one of these, eating this chocolate that was meant for Harry, and he becomes like really lovesick and has love for this girl that he doesn't know. And this leads Harry and Ron to go to Slughorn to try to fix Ron. Slughorn does it, and then they decide to get a drink together. And by doing this, Ron gets poisoned, and he gets poisoned by the drink, and they think Slughorn did it. In reality, Slughorn didn't do it. Draco did it, because Draco's trying to kill Harry in this movie on behalf of Voldemort. And Harry and Draco had a little mini battle where Harry like really hurts Draco thanks to a spell he learned from this guy in this book called the Half-Blood Prince, which he's learning from all these spells and stuff like that from this guy. But they don't know who the Half-Blood Prince is. They're trying to search him up and stuff like that. They don't know. But Harry found this notebook in Slughorn's class, and he's been reading this and going over things and using these spells and techniques in this movie. Also, when Draco joins the Dark Lord in this movie, he's bringing things to Hogwarts that shouldn't be there. Like there's an amulet that gets possessed, like a necklace that has possession on it, and one of the girls gets possessed in the movie, and then Harry trying to figure out where the stuff is coming from. And then him and Ginny, because there's also a love thing there, they go together and they go to the room of requirement and finds out that Draco's been putting things in this room and teleporting them back and forth from Hogwarts to Dagnott Alley. I'm just calling it the alley at this point, but transfer stuff back and forth because he's setting something up. We don't know what he's doing, but he's setting something up. And speaking of Draco, Harry confronts Draco multiple times in this movie, and Draco kind of gets the upper hand on him in the beginning of the movie, and then Harry gets the upper hand on him in the second part of the movie, and then the third part, there's no conclusion between the two of them. But Draco, I cannot take seriously. I cannot take seriously in this movie. The first 5 movies, besides number 2 and number 1, the third one, fourth, and fifth really does Draco no justice. They don't build him up as a character to feel like, yeah, he's the antagonist of Harry Potter. He's Harry Potter's equal. Or he's less than Harry Potter, but he holds this grudge to him. No, they made him a joke character, so for him to come out in this movie as a strong antagonist and be a focal point of doing stuff, it just doesn't seem like it worked to me. And it felt bad writing, I felt like, for Draco's character, but it's whatever. He's the antagonist in this movie. Snape is told to watch over him. So Snape commits to the Dark Lord and decides to watch over Draco. And kind of does things to save Draco. Like when Harry Potter used a spell that Half-Blood Prince, he learned from the Half-Blood Prince, Draco gets like marred really bad, and Snape comes in and heals him. Snape also, by the way, is the teacher in this movie, the professor against dark arts in this movie. He's the guy now. He's now the sixth one, and he teaches the students how to protect themselves against the dark arts, which also helps him keep eye on Snape, and keeps eye on Draco, and keep eye on Harry. And Draco has been given the task to kill Dumbledore in the end of this movie, but it doesn't happen because the person that does kill him is Snape. And now I'm like watching, it's like my favorite character of the series right now has went full bad guy, full Anakin Skywalker. He's no longer, he was supposed to beat the Sith, not join them, and he joined them. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, this is a ruse. Obviously, he's not a bad guy. Him and Draco's going to have this grand redemption arc, and I'm hoping for this redemption arc at this point of watching the series. And we don't know what's going to happen. I will say, Draco does manage to get like Bellatrix Lestrange, and the rest of the Death Eaters into Hogwarts, and they destroy stuff, tear stuff down, and they corner Dumbledore, and Dumbledore was like, oh shoot, this is going down, and Snape saves Harry, goes up and kills Dumbledore, and you're like, okay, this has happened. And that kill, the death spell in this movie is like Tyreek and I talked about in the last review. It is so so powerful that anybody can use it, and like there's no kind of defense, no struggle with it. It's just like, and then Dumbledore's death was actually done better than Sirius' death. Dumbledore had a slow motion fall, and Sirius just had a quick fade away. By the way, Draco was told to kill Dumbledore, and Draco couldn't do it, and that's why Snape stepped in to do it for Draco, because he was supposed to take Draco. If Draco can't get the job done, Snape's gonna do it, or they're both dead. So, yeah. So Dumbledore's dead at the end of this movie, but while that happened, before that point, Dumbledore and Harry learned about the Horcruxes, and they learned about all the things that Voldemort put his soul into, and they go to this random island somewhere and find the third Horcrux, which is an amulet. And Dumbledore tells Harry, well, no matter what I do, you have to destroy this amulet and continue to go on. So Dumbledore drinks this random water, and the amulet reveals itself, but Dumbledore asks for water, and Dumbledore can't get there's no more water left. Harry goes into this water, and this monster comes out. They manage to get away, which Dumbledore saves them all with this random, Dumbledore saves them with this spell to get them out of the area, and they get back to Hogwarts. But Dumbledore pretty much almost dies at this point, and that's when the monster comes out. When Harry goes to get the water to kind of revive Dumbledore, these monsters come out, and it's like this quick, like I said, 10-cut scene that was not necessary. It was already scary enough. The water popped out and Harry, I didn't expect it to happen. It's like, oh shoot, jump scare. Okay, cool. But the cuts was unnecessary. I felt like really unnecessary. But hey, it got the job done. And they get back to Hogwarts, and this is where Draco and Snape team up with the Death Eaters and kill Dumbledore, and that's pretty much towards the end of the movie there. And Harry's like, all right, well, we gotta find a way to get all 7 Horcruxes, and guess what? This one's a fake. Next movie. I love this movie. I actually do love this movie. It was so done. The action's done so well in this movie. The music and tone is done well in this movie. Like when Death Eaters come in, the tone of the movie shifts. It's no longer happy and upbeat and like this grand adventure. It's more like dark and scary and insidious, and you're just like hoping that the good guys might come out alive at this point. You don't know what's going to happen. Hagrid place gets destroyed. Everything's getting destroyed. It is like the Death Eaters are wrecking stuff left and right. But also makes me wonder, where's Professor McGonagall at? Why is she stepping up at this point? Like, where are the strong students? Nowhere to be found. Like, they come through, the Death Eaters come through and wreck house and kill Dumbledore, and that's it. It was at the end of the movie, you saw the students surround Dumbledore's body, but they didn't try to stop what went on. And you say, well, I leave, it was late at night, so of course nobody was awake. But still, you know when something's going down in Hogwarts, you can hear stuff, glass breaking. It's not like, oh, I'm just gonna stay asleep through all this. Somebody could have came and done something. Everybody woke up when they found out Dumbledore was dead. And then, so I talked about, you know, Slughorn and his storyline, the Harry Potter and the Horcruxes and his storyline, Dumbledore storyline, and then Draco and Snape's storyline. But the one thing I kind of missed was Lavender's Brown, Ron, and Hermione's storyline. So Lavender's, I think she's a new student. She's infatuated with Ron to the point of like just, oh my gosh, somebody stop her. Like, it's almost a point where it's creepy and annoying, and she's like underneath his wing every second he goes. At first, it's that whole, you meet somebody who's really attracted to you, so you give them back the attraction, and then it comes to the point where it becomes super annoying. And how she breaks up with him, or how she breaks up with Ron, when Ryan gets drugged and poisoned and they save him, he talks about Hermione in his sleep, and that's when she pretty much dumps Ron on the spot. And I was like, that's a horrible ending to a relationship. You ever know Ron and Hermione, because Hermione's upset that Ron and Lavender have a kiss and make out, and Lavender's really like going after Ron, and Lavender's pretty much trying to get rid of Hermione and Harry, and Harry and Hermione have some talks, and they really like understand what's going on. Ron's like, I don't know why you're so mad. We're not in a relationship. We're not doing anything. We keep having these feelings and having these moments. And Hermione goes off with some boy too, but that she's doing that to make Ron jealous. And it's really like a teenage love story here, like a teenage movie love story that's like but it all resolves itself out at the end of the movie. Like, Hermione only talks to the guy to make Ron jealous, but then she realizes it doesn't make Ron jealous. Ron really likes Hermione and doesn't really find a way to express it to her, and he does it through his sleep. So Hermione's like, oh, I win this battle. And Lavender's like, forget you guys, I'm out. Deuces. And then Harry and Ginny had their little romance thing, and I felt like it was kind of forced. It didn't really show itself in the other movies, besides like, I don't think in the fifth one it really showed itself. It just really showed itself in this one for sure. And his old flame, just forget about her. Cho was no longer in the movie, and she's there, but she's not a big thing. And Ginny and Harry reconnect their relationship more, and you're like, oh, okay, this is the one that Harry really likes. Cool. And she really digs Harry. Also, Ginny is a Gryffindor's Quidditch player, which that just happened. We don't really know how she got there, how good she is, but she's there. And Ron is a new member too, so good for them. I love the storyline. The low parts of the movie didn't feel low. It didn't feel long. This movie's 2 hours 34 minutes. I didn't feel like 2 hours 34 minutes. I enjoyed this movie. It's probably one of my favorite up to this point right now in the series reviews. So I love it. Characters: Harry Potter as, well, I guess say Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter, great. Rupert Grint, Ron Weasley, great. Emma Watson as Hermione, great. Albus Dumbledore, played by Michael Gambon, great. Alan Rickman, who plays Snape, great. Even when Snape turns bad and the things he's doing in this movie, he's so believable. He's such a great character. I just hope his arc, as I'm reviewing these series, his arc gets the closure it gets, but we'll find out. And then, you know, Tom Felton as Draco, he is great. I just don't like the character of Draco. I feel like he was not the character in this movie that was believable to me, and anytime he did anything, it just didn't make sense. It's not Tom Felton's fault. Tom Felton has been great this whole series. It is the writing of the character of Draco. It's not right. And then I'm gonna put my laptop over because got other people in here. Of course, we gotta talk about Bonnie Wright as Ginny Weasley. She did great. We gotta talk about Helen Bonham Carter, who plays Bellatrix Lestrange. Great. Ivana Lynch, who plays Luna Lovegood, she was great in this movie too. Jim Broadbent, who played Professor Horace Slughorn, great. I had no complaints about these people. Like, they're all great. Robbie Coltrane, who played Hagrid, great. Jesse Kay, who played Lavender Brown, great. So everything's great about these characters, about the writing, not the writing, but the character, the actors who play the characters, great. I have no complaints about any of them. Just the writing for characters I just didn't like. And also we gotta talk about the music in this movie was great. The tone and the ambiance of the music was really great, done well. The CGI was done well. Even the lighting, to me, it got darker as the series go on, I'm noticing, and this movie gets darker and darker where it's like, oh man, it's really dark. Also, before I get on, but she watches on Friday night, The Half-Blood Prince. And this is what Harry Potter to me messes up on. And this is why I'm going to give this movie the grade it gets. Is because The Half-Blood Prince is Snape. Harry Potter finds this out when he was trying to attack Snape after Snape killed Dumbledore. Harry Potter runs after Snape and he tries to attack Snape with Snape's own spell. Snape turns around, pow, pow, pow. Like, just, don't you dare to use your own spell. My own spell against me. And then he walks into him, I am the Half-Blood Prince. I love you, Snape, but that was unnecessary. Why did we put that in the movie? Because the name of the movie is The Half-Blood Prince. The Half-Blood Prince might have been like 5 minutes in the movie total. When they find the book, Harry's studying the book, they're looking for him in the library, talking about him, and then the ending. You know, that was unnecessary. I feel like in this movie, in the fifth movie, both have the same mistakes. The name of the movie, I know it's based off the book, but the name of the movie is irrelevant pretty much to the majority of the movie. The Half-Blood Prince is not really in the movie at all. You know, it'd been kind of cool to see like the Half-Blood Prince have that being more of a focal point, but it wasn't. So, but other than that, that's probably one gripe about the movie. But the lighting with the movie was great, and like the takeover was great. Is this a Friday night movie? Yes, Friday night movie. Watch it with your friends and family. Grading time. I'm gonna grade Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince an A-. The reason I'm grading the A-, the Half-Blood Prince storyline was pretty much irrelevant to the movie. Just like I graded, you know, Order of the Phoenix, the name of the movie to me really mattered what is claims to this movie. I gave the Order of Phoenix a C+ because I feel like that name was kind of irrelevant. But there's also other things in that movie that really just I talked about. This one's the same thing. A- because even though the Half-Blood Prince was almost irrelevant, the rest of the movie was great. It was great and done well. Besides that cut scene at the end of the movie where it's like 10 different cuts for no reason, that also was like, ugh, that's not good. But other than that, everything else was great. And I adore this movie. This is a fun movie to watch. Everybody did great. Definitely check this one out. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you've seen Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, what are your thoughts? Please put in the comment section below. I really am curious about it. And thank you guys for watching this episode of Movie Breakdown. See you next time. Keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe, and tell a friend about my series. Tell a friend about Grind Towards Success. Tell a friend about the Movie Breakdown series. If you really like these episodes, I really appreciate it. It means so much to me. It means so much. I can't tell you how much it means. Like it's like I'll be really grateful you just told a friend and share and subscribe to the series. And thank you guys for watching this. Also, if you want to follow my journey outside of YouTube or Facebook, you can go to my Instagram page and you can follow me on my Instagram page at Ali_Zakka. It's right here. Put it right here in my face. That way you're like, where's his face at? Well, it's right behind the Instagram logo. Yeah, but you can follow me on my Instagram page. And also, if you want another episode of Grind Towards Success or Movie Breakdowns, you can watch the episode of Grind Towards Success right here. You can watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns right there. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. See you guys next time. Keep being awesome.